everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Phil Hodges Experience. Today we're knocking out another music video on my watch list. This is called, the band is called Everlast. The song's called What It's Like. This in particular is one of my favorite songs. Not because it's super catchy or lyrical or anything, but one of my superpowers is the power of empathy. I'm extremely good at putting myself in somebody else's shoes to see whatever problem, issue, topic that we're discussing or analyzing from their point of view. I'm extremely good at this, which is why some call me a masturbator. I personally just think I'm a really good debater, but, you know, to each their own, whatever. I might be a masher, I might just be a regular baiter. Who knows? Well, we're going to find out. One of these days I'll get famous and be on somebody's talk show and argue with some girls about something. Or dudes, I'll argue with anyone just about over anything. So this song is called, like I said, What It's Like by Everlast. And in this song, I'm familiar with it, there's 3 or 4 main figures, I guess, that the characters, that the music video kind of centers around. I'm going to be breaking those down, and hopefully my closed caption button works, and we'll get some lyrics in there to help me out and remember what's going on. So no further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in and leave a comment and let me know what you think about the song and a time where you used empathy to help you create a solution or create a problem if that problem led to the solution. You know, sometimes you gotta fight fire. So no further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right in.
Slobs, all he replied. God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in his shoes.
See, so that right there is what I was talking about earlier about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, seeing the problem or whatever from somebody else's perspective, a outside the box look at something, if you will. So we're gonna go back. He asked the man for what he could spare with shame in his eyes. So he doesn't. This gentleman. He doesn't, the music video implies, he doesn't want to be a beggar and is on the verge of starving and has to go around asking for change. But here's the thing. Why couldn't he ask for work and employment? Right? That's some things I want to know. Like, if you can't, like if you're physically disabled, like you have no arms and legs, so you know your only job, all you can do is like lick postage stamps that have to get mailed out, use some saliva, and even then you need help handling those things out. Like, I don't know what you're going to do. But if you're just homeless because you don't want to play the game, which is society, then, I mean, beg. It's nobody else's job to take care of you.
And for what it could spare with shame in his eyes.
On to the next part, though.
Get a job, you fucking slobs, all he replied.
Okay, so that's unnecessary. You don't need to call them a fucking slob. You're just going to be like, I'm sorry, I don't have any change, and then move on with your life. And if everyone in the world stopped giving people change, the odds of people approaching you for change would be a lot less. Just to throw that out.
God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in his shoes. Then you really might know what it's like to sing the blues.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, nobody knows. Nobody knows me. But I've been homeless. And I never asked anybody for change. I was voluntarily homeless. I just didn't want to pay any money to the man. I wanted to save some money for rent and things like that. Get a little nice nest egg before Joe Biden ruined it all with this economy and the 2 wars he basically instigated. But I've been in those shoes. I was in a California winter with no homeless shelters, nothing like that. I just had to survive. I found ways. And like I've said in a different music video, I think it was Doja Cat, You have to take responsibility. No. It was Sleeping with Sirens. You have to take responsibility for your own actions and do whatever it is you got to do. Being homeless is not an excuse to go around asking for money. You can ask for a couple bucks here and there to get some breakfast in you before you go start your day shift or something, but you got to put some energy and effort into bettering your situation and not just being a parasite or leech off of those in the community that are.
And then you really might know what it's like.
This guy's mean.
And then you really might know what it's like. And then you really might know what it's like. And then you really might know what it's like. Mary got pregnant from a kid named Tom, said he was in love.
This in particular is a heart-wrenching one. I have a particular protective instinct, I guess is where I'm going to drive. Maybe not instinct, but a drive. To protect women and children. And particularly due to third wave feminism, women nowadays in particular have had a lot of indoctrination and programming is a word I'm going to use to think certain things. And this is arguably one of those scenarios where she was never taught men will lie and say anything to get inside her pants, in one's pants, not just hers, but one's pants. Even though nobody's responsible, nobody at that age is mature enough to be handling that kind of scenario. It happens, and people have handled it despite the overwhelming odds and circumstances against them, but it should definitely be avoided at all costs. And so, in order to avoid this, that's why you always just have to say no to sex until you're actually ready and stable and in a relationship and been dating for years, not just months or something like that in school, like high school. She looks to be about high school age. Maybe college, but my guess is high school.
Said, don't worry about a thing, baby doll, I'm the man you've been dreaming of. But 3 months later, he said he won't date or return her call.
Yeah, as soon as she probably told him, she probably said, I'm pregnant. He said, don't worry, I'm the man you've been dreaming of. But being a kid, reality hits, and he wants to go off to concerts and eat at McDonald's with his friends and things like that. He is not going to be wanting to spend that kind of concert ticket money on a child. Or bear the time burden of not being able to go off and have fun with his friends.
And she swear, goddamn, if I find that man cutting off his balls. And then she heads for the clinic and she gets some static walking through the door. They call her a killer and they call her a sinner and they call her a whore.
Which is super unfortunate because I blame the girl a little bit because it's still your choice. You made the decision. You understood the consequences that happened, assuming everything was consensual and within age groups and things like that. But it is an extremely hard burden to bear, and one somebody really needs to reflect on before they go through and have the coitus.
God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in a shoe.
Especially the high heels.
Say you really might know what it's like to have to choose. Then you really might know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like. Then you really
I just want to go back for a little bit. This scene in particular I like a lot because it shows
a shoe. Say you really might know what it's like to have.
See, she's walking a crowd. She's in the middle of not the middle of the street. She's on the sidewalk. She's in the city. She's around people. She's doing things, but bag gets knocked down. She feels isolated. She feels alone. She has no support system. In this case, due to her wandering by herself, I feel like her parents have disowned her. I'm not positive about that, but she's fairly along and pregnant, and as you can see, everybody has their own problems. Nobody really cares. So it can be extremely isolating and depressing for one to be, particularly a woman, right? Because men can't get pregnant, but particularly for a woman to be in this kind of situation.
You really might know what it's like.
So right there, those last few lines, it was all about. I'm not familiar with the term, but I know from art class, it's like complementary color, like opposites that actually go together. Yin yang. There we go. It's very yin yang. Truthful people lie. Liars sometimes tell the truth. Sometimes gotta smoke some green. I'm pretty sure that's the generalized mention there. Just kidding. But if you do smoke green, let me know down below, and if you think, whether you do or not, let me know if you think it should be made legal for pleasure, for recreational consumption. Those are the phrases I'm looking for. Personally, I've never had a 10. I got close though. I got a 9 one time. Whew. Could have been the girl's my dream. Unfortunately, she was in Europe. So, didn't work out. But it is what it is.
You know where it ends, yo, it usually depends on where you start. This kid named Max, he used to get fat stacks out on the corner with drugs. He liked to hang out late, he liked to get shit-faced to keep pace with thugs.
See, that lifestyle always leads to somewhere, okay? Like, it's familiar with the saying, live by the sword, die by the sword. So if you're out there gunslinging, doing drugs, partying all night, in general being antisocial, and the actual use of the word is being destructive to society, i.e. not following societal rules, not like you just don't want to hang out and go to the club and be around a bunch of people. It can create problems, as you'll see here in just a moment.
Till late one night, there was a big gunfight, and Max lost his head. He pulled out his chrome 45, talked some shit, and wound up dead. Now his wife and his kids are caught in the midst of all of his pain.
See, so when you make bad decisions, that's the thing about death. Once you're dead, it stops affecting you. What happens, though, is a ripple effect and affects everybody outside of you. And in this case, this individual, Max, if I remember correctly, has a wife and kid. And now they have to go through life without him. Similar to that one girl, who was pregnant, right? The child may have had a couple extra years being with the father, but now that he's dead and he was the breadwinner, what is a life like going to be for that mom and daughter? Or kid. We don't know if it's going to be a daughter. For his wife and kids, though, it's not going to be ideal, to say the least. It's going to be uncomparatively harder. Well, I guess you could compare it, but it's hard to compare.
You know, it crumbles that way, at least that's what they say when you play the game. God forbid you ever had to wake up to hear the news. Then you really might know what it's like to have to lose. I know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like to have to lose. To have to lose.
Right here. This here is an amazing shot for me, because this is what most people want in the world. Definitely the Western world. Maybe not terrorists or something. But most people just want to be part of a family, kids, sitting around a dinner table, laughing at whatever stories or jokes that are going on in their lives, rather than dealing with all this problem. The homeless man wishes he had the wife and the kids. The girl wished that she had a man to help take care of her and her kids. And then the Max, the thug, I think he's behind the dad's head. He just wants, or not just once, he died, right? He died in a gang shootout or something. This is what he should have aspired to, so he could provide for his wife. This is what he was trying to do, but basically got caught up with the wrong crowd. So this is kind of the goal that most people want, but there's a couple ways to say it. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. Or the more famous but longer way to say that is, even the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. So it's hard to get to this, but if you can get to this, this will give you more enjoyment and stuff in life than just about anything. And it can carry on to your grandkids and so forth, so on. You can live your entire life similar to this, not just a few years. You can see the background. None of the other stuff matters. The TV, the window frames, the heating, air conditioning, all that stuff doesn't. If you have your family and some food and what appears to be a shelter, we call it a roof, then really you're living an amazing life regardless of where you are in the world. Obviously, who doesn't want to be on a jet ski instead of shoeless in Africa, right? But if you have a small nuclear family unit, you're living the best that life has to offer. Or you're enjoying the best that life has to offer. So our song's wrapping up. So if you like this kind of analysis and want to support me and the channel, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think on any of the things I've said. And with that, this Phil stuttered twice. That's not good. This Phil will see you in the future.